fine with somebody who has some really nasty and explicit things to say, which are absolutely false about Mrs. Gandhi, or for that matter, Rahul.
Now, one of your responsibilities is also to strategize on narrative, communications, all of that, public communication. Is there a danger that the Congress could become what it opposed or said it opposes? In other words, are you borrowing from the BJP playbook in labeling people for and against? If you don't believe this, you're this. Because on Twitter, for example, everything is very polarized today. And so sometimes, you can get slammed by the right wing. Sometimes you can get slammed by the left wing. And that's fine. It's par for the course. You live in the public gaze. All of that is okay. But has the Congress decided that we are going to compete with the BJP in its own language? Is there a little bit of that? Because one does see it in spokespeople like you. You're much more aggressive than an earlier generation, let's say, of Congress spokespeople.
So I will answer that, and I will also say one important thing here, and just to carry forward the conversation that we were having on these boycotted anchors. We have chosen to boycott these anchors. We continue to go on a lot of shows. None of those are big fans of either us or the Congress or cheerleaders. But we believe that even when they question us, and they question us very harshly, I'm fine being questioned harshly. You throw facts at me, you put me in the dock, you do all of that. But you cannot undermine the fact that I represent a political party. You cannot have a deeply prejudiced bias which is visible on air against my leadership. And you cannot use me to push your polarized communal narrative. So I think on that, when you say we are borrowing from the BJP, absolutely not. But I think the bad penny needs to be paid back in kind, and exactly in bad penny. I am a Gandhian. But I also believe, I think, one cheek being slapped and me offering the other, it doesn't hold anymore. Because, and I'll be honest with you, I'm very aggressive. I think I'm very assertive. My rule is very simple. I call the Prime Minister always Prime Minister Modi. I never say Narendra Modi or anything. I always refer to him as PM Modi, Prime Minister Modi, because I think his office deserves that respect. It's absolutely same for other ministers as well. But if you breach a line about my leadership, then I'm not going to sit there and stay decent and quiet and smile over it. If you say two things, then I will end that argument.
No, that's fair. But tell me this before we move on to the larger politics. What is the dynamic off camera between
not very good anymore
warring spokespeople? I come from a generation, as do you.
Exactly. Back when
where at the end of a show, you could see a chuckle between two people across the aisle.
Yeah.
Does that happen?
I think it happens sometimes, but mostly no, it's not true at all. Because I think it has become extremely acrimonious, and I think it's also a sad commentary on our politics, where we are no longer political opponents. The opposition is seen as a political enemy, and I think that's how the behavior is. And I'm not fine with hanging around and having a cup of tea with somebody who's just called my leader names. I'm not fine with somebody who has some really nasty and explicit things to say, which are absolutely false about Mrs. Gandhi, or for that matter, Rahul ji. I mean, why would I take that line down? Why would I be fine with somebody who says that Pandit Nehru is responsible for all our misery? I mean, are you so dumb? And if you are a propagandist, then I don't think I would like to share my cup of coffee with people like you.
And yet Rahul Gandhi walked across suddenly one day and gave the Prime Minister a hug.
He's a saint, I'm not. I think I learn a lot from him. I'll be very honest with you. And I don't know if I should, but when I look at him, I do sometimes feel I wish I had his forgiveness. And I'm not saying this just because he's my leader and, I'm on camera. I do sometimes wish I had his forgiveness. He carries no anger. In some sense, it is, I find it very tough sometimes. Yes, I think with passage of time, with life and with losses, you do realize that anger is way too corrosive. I think hate is anyways very corrosive. So I don't carry hate, but I do carry anger sometimes. Increasingly, when I look at him and when I interact with him, I feel like, it's insane to be angry. I'll tell you a very small incident. We were walking in Bharat Jodo Yatra, and all these people who say the nonsense that they say about him. We were walking in Bharat Jodo Yatra, and I said, and each time the BJP said some 15 lies which were blatant about the yatra, and this was all on camera also. And I said and we were walking, and I said, you know, I really hate them or him or something I had said about someone. And there were no cameras. It wasn't as if he was trying to make an impression. He just says, but why do you have to hate? You should learn from it. I mean, hate is too strong an emotion. Don't carry it. You know, I looked at him and I said, says a man who for the last 12, 15 years has been brutally trolled. His reputation, every effort has been made to, assassinate his reputation. I think to grave possibilities of physical harm, the BJP says a lot of things about him. And if he doesn't carry anger, then maybe I should not also.